Hey, what's up guys? Matt here with Fix Anything Save Money. Today we are going to be showing you how to tune up and then also how to start this Stihl FS40C trimmer. So we're going to be walking you through the basic, kind of the yearly tune-up maintenance that you should be doing on your machine to keep it running great. So just stick with me. We're going to go through this really quick, and then we're going to show you just a quick starting sequence if you don't own this, or if you just bought this machine and you're unsure how to start it. We're going to be going through that along with the yearly tune-up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be doing is changing out the air filter. So to do that, we're going to be removing this bolt screw right here, and we're going to be using a T25 driver, and we're just going to rotate this counterclockwise to remove this cover. Okay, so you can see kind of what that looks like. And then that exposes the air filter. So we're just going to take that out. And you could either replace this with a new one, or if you want to make them last a little bit longer, you could wash these out. I like to put a little bit of Dawn, wash them out under hot water, and then just let them air dry on a windowsill, and then put it back in. You don't want to put these back in wet. So then to reinstall it, you can see it just kind of slides in like that. Put our cover back on. Tighten that back down clockwise. Okay, so that is step one. The other two things we're going to do, we're going to do the spark plug, and then we're also going to do the fuel filter. So to get to the spark plug, it's underneath this little cap right here. This is just kind of like a plastic housing cap, and you just pull it straight up, and then it exposes the actual spark plug cap. So then we could just pull this out, and then that exposes the actual spark plug. And you can see here, we have a ratchet with a 5/8 inch spark plug socket. So really you could use a regular socket on these. The spark plug sockets are nice because they kind of have that little rubber gasket in there that when you stick it in, it kind of catches on this part of the spark plug, so you could pull it out. It's mainly used for cars, but you really don't need it for this, but it is good to have. Okay, so to remove that, I'll show you what that looks like. We're just gonna fit that in there, and then we're going to, same thing, rotate this way, counterclockwise. And then once you kind of loosen it up, you could remove it by hand. Okay, so then we would take our new spark plug, thread it in here, rotate that clockwise, and then we just give it a quick tighten down with the ratchet. You don't want to over tighten these because you could strip them out, but you also don't want them too loose. So just snug them up, put your cap back on, and you could kind of hear your cap click into place. I don't know if you could hear it, but you could kind of hear it snap down into place. And then we're just going to put this little plastic cover back on like that. Okay, so there's all that. And then the last thing I like to do on my yearly maintenance for my machines is to actually replace the fuel filter. So you could go ahead and drain the fuel out of this just by kind of tipping it upside down into an oil catch pan or something like that. I still have the fuel in here, but on this machine, the fuel filter is relatively easy to get to. You can kind of see it in there, right there. And all we're gonna do is just kind of grab it without getting too much gas on us, and then just pull it straight out. Okay. And now this is where you could take, sometimes the fuel line is stuck on pretty good to these fuel filters, so you could take a flathead and go right to the base right here and just kind of pry it off, or at least break that seal, and then pull it straight off. And then you would take your new one, put it back in, and just make sure that your fuel line is sitting flush up against it, and then just drop that back into the bottom of your tank. Okay, now I do also have a video up on how to replace the carburetor on this machine, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. If your machine isn't running right and you do your tune-up and it's still not running right, it's most likely a carb issue. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to put a link right in the top right hand corner right here, and that'll take you to the video of the carb replacement for this Stihl FS40C. So just check that out. If you're still, your engine's still running rough, it's probably a carb issue. The carbs are not that bad to change out. I just didn't want to put it all in one video and make the video super, super long. So be sure to check that out. And then last, we will just go over the starting sequence really quick. So you could see here, when we put our choke all the way up, so let's say our engine is cold, we haven't ran it in a long time, we want to turn that knob all the way up by just pushing in and rotating. So now it's on full choke. Now don't pull the trigger because that's going to release the choke. So what you're going to do is just flick that up and then go over to your priming bulb, which is right here, and just prime your carburetor. Just press it about 7-8 times. Make sure there's fuel in the bulb. Sometimes these bulbs could dry rot out, and you could actually replace the bulb in the carburetor, or you could just replace the entire carburetor. So when you're doing your maintenance, look at the line in here, make sure nothing's dry rotted like crazy. If this bulb isn't holding fuel, then your carburetor isn't getting fuel and your engine's not going to start. So make sure you could see fuel in there. Prime up your carburetor really well, and then don't pull the trigger because that's going to release the choke. What you want to do is just pull a few times, and you're going to hear it kind of soft start. It's going to like turn over, start for a second, and then probably it's going to die out. So once it does that, then you could go ahead and put it in the middle here, right here. Pull it again, and then it's going to actually start and probably run for a few seconds. And then after that, you could go ahead and kind of turn your choke down, start it, and your engine should run continuously, and just let it warm up for a couple minutes. I usually like to let it warm up for a minute or two before I really go to work with it, just to give the engine a chance to get up to temperature, so you're not doing any damage and you're not going to prematurely kind of wear out your engine. So yeah, guys, that's how you tune up a Stihl FS40C, and that's how you also start it. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I have a carb video up on how to replace the carb on this. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, check that out. Also, if this video helped you out, be sure to give it a like, and be sure to check out all my other tool and DIY videos on my channel. And yeah, guys, that pretty much does it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.